Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about cell membrane. So what do you understand by cell membrane? Any living cell has an outermost covering that is called as cell membrane. So if this is a cell, the outermost covering is called as cell membrane. And scientists has given a term for this that is called as fluid mosaic model. So this is how fluid mosaic model will look like. I'll explain about it in detail. Before that, I want to give you a little bit introduction. All right. So we all know what are the constituents of the cell, and in case you have missed it, please check out my other videos where I have explained what is the cell and what are the different parts of the cell. So every cell has a outer cell membrane, right? So what is the main function of this cell membrane is it lets things inside and out of the cell, okay? And also, so basically it's acting like a transport system. It also has another function that it acts as an external barrier to the outside environment. So it is acting as a barrier and it is protecting the contents inside. So these are the two main functions. So one is it acts as a gate transport. It lets different type of things to come inside like water, oxygen, vitamins, different things. But it also acts as a barrier to the external environment. Okay, so now let us talk about this fluid mosaic model. So it is basically named as fluid mosaic because it has biphospholipid layers, as well as it has a mosaic pattern of different protein channels and different channels. Like here you can see peripheral proteins, here you can see integrated proteins. So here you can see cholesterol and different things. Okay, so that's why they have given the term fluid mosaic model. And this is called the head and this is called the tail of the phospholipid. Okay, so this is the head and this is the tail. So there are two. That's why it is called as biphospholipid layer. All right. So, and this attracts water. So it is called as hydrophilic. It's hydrophilic in nature, whereas the tail portion is hydrophobic. That is, it does not get attracted to water. Okay, so these are the biphospholipid layer, and let me show how it exists over here. So basically you will have like this in circle. So I hope you understand what I mean by now. So this is how you can see, like, you know, a layer. Okay, so what are the other functions basically is it helps in fusion of things. Okay, so it helps in fusion of proteins. It helps basically to let few things inside and does not let few things enter the cell. Okay, so one of the example is fusion of sperm and egg is possible also because of this cell membrane. Okay, so now that you have understood the basics of the cell membrane, let me tell you what can enter the cell and what cannot. So charged particles cannot enter the cell membrane. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, and vitamins can enter this. Okay, so if one cell has to communicate with the other cell, so suppose it has some constituents over here, so it needs to communicate with the other cell. That's also possible because of cell membrane. So what does this cell do is it will give its contents to this cell. Now how will it look later on is the constituents will be here. That's possible because of cell membrane. And this process where the constituents of this cell are entering the cell is called as endocytosis. Okay, so this is also possible because of cell membrane. And the thickness of this, like the thickness of this is 5 to 10 nanometer, and the temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. So remember, cholesterol, glycoproteins, peripheral protein, integral proteins, all these are arranged in the mosaic pattern. That's why it is called as fluid mosaic, because it has viscous fluid as well as it has mosaic components. That's why this is called as fluid mosaic model of cell membrane. Now I'm telling you that different things can come inside and outside that of the cell. So what do you think? Do you think any harmful foreign substance can enter the cell? Like suppose think this is a deadly virus, okay? So if this has to enter the cell, it has to cross the cell membrane. So when it tries to enter the cell, what happens is all the contents of this cell will leak outside. So imagine, like for example, this is the cell, okay, and this is the cell membrane, okay. So if suppose any foreign substance has to enter, so first the cell membrane will be breached, then only it can enter the cell. So all the constituents of the cell will come out, all right. Then what will happen? So there will be a lot of infections, diseases and whatnot. So scientists are actually trying to develop something called as nanosponge, where all these toxic materials can be absorbed by that nanosponge. It's still in process, but you might think that cell membrane is protecting us, but also whenever there is an infection, there is a chances that because of a foreign substance, it's breaching the outermost membrane. But without the cell membrane, there is no microorganisms, there won't be infection, but there won't be cell transport also. Remember, because main function of the cell membrane is transport gate and also as a barrier to external environment. So if that cell membrane doesn't exist, we don't exist either. So that's the importance of cell membrane, and I'll be discussing more biology topics in my next class. All right, thanks for watching, and subscribe in case you did not subscribe yet. And you can leave in the comment section which topic you want me to explain, and I'll be really happy to explain that topic in my next videos. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.